loves, Kim here, and I'm back with another video. So today I am building the first house for the Not So Very Challenge Mint Generation, and I decided to use the wonderful world of Windenburg because I love its views. And although Janae, who is my Generation Mint Sim, although she is a young adult, and a lot of the times young adults wouldn't have a house this large so young in their lives, I felt like if we were going to be able to use cheats for the first house and not use cheats for the rest of the series, I want a pretty substantial house so Janae can start raising her family, and eventually this house could go through the bloodline and certain generations can come back and raise their children here. And that was my whole idea. So I wanted a house to be big enough for a pretty decent sized family, maybe 4 or 5, maybe even 6 Sims. So yeah, that was my whole idea. This house, although it looks traditional, it has quite a few modern kind of twists to it. I love the fencing that's in the front of the main door, also the large windows around the back and by the kitchen. This house was inspired by this show that I watch on Netflix. It's actually a British show, if I'm not mistaken, called Grand Designs. And basically with that show, homeowners, they build their own houses, and sometimes it takes a couple of months, sometimes it takes a couple of years, but each and every home is personal to a specific homeowner because they created the homes themselves. So I really enjoy that show, and this house was definitely inspired by Grand Designs. So yeah, how are you guys doing today? I'm feeling great. Just trying to get these videos out to you all. If you haven't watched the Create a Sim video for Janae Dewberry, it will definitely be linked somewhere below, either on the screen or down in the description box. But I really love this house. I would say my main challenge was just finding wallpapers and items that were quote-unquote mint and not necessarily green. I feel like that was such a big challenge because in the color filters, of course, there's no mint option, so I found myself a lot of the time choosing both green and blue and kind of gauging for myself what was going to be, I guess, most appropriate. Although the outside of this house is inspired by one of the homes from that show, Grand Designs, the inside is completely made up. And by that, it's like I kind of created my own layout, obviously because I couldn't remember how the inside of that house looked. And of course, the outside isn't an exact duplicate. However, it was definitely largely inspired by it. I love the asymmetrical roof line. I feel like I am not the best naturally when working with the traditional roof, so a lot of times in my builds I go for a more modern style and opting for a flatter roof. But I love the way this roof came out, and I really just enjoy this build in general. So yeah, here I am just choosing a door. Some items aren't necessarily green or blue. Some of them are more like on the neutral side. I didn't want the house to be overkill mint. However, I definitely wanted a large amount to reflect the challenge and the fact that we had to use mint in the house build and things like that. It was just kind of hard. Naturally, when I build, I'm not real big on like pastels or bright colors, specifically for the exterior. So the outside does looks a little dull, I guess, to some people. There are definitely green tones in all of the wallpaper as well as the roofing. It's just in certain lights you can't really tell, but it's definitely tones of green in there. I would probably say my favorite room, that's kind of hard to choose. I really like the main bedroom as well as the main bathroom. or the master bathroom. I like the fact that the toilet is kind of closed off, and like it has its own toilet room, and also that the stand-up shower is basically in a little alcove. I feel like every space has its own little compartment in that bathroom, and I really enjoy that. Also, with the main bedroom, the way I decorate, I just feel like it has a lot of personality. And although it's not super extreme with embellishments and things like that, I really like it. My idea with that is I wanted to keep this house kind of bare, because I do know eventually Janae is going to have a family or at least have children, so all of their rooms are bare, and the only room that's decorated is the master bedroom. And of course, like the living room, dining room area. However, everything else is pretty much basic, quote unquote, bare bones, if you will. There are the essentials like appliances and plumbing and things like that. However, I didn't want to over decorate this house, because over time I wanted each of whoever was to move in or join our family to be able to have their own personality and have their own input into the house. And like I said, also I wanted this house to be home. Like I wanted the following generations to be able to come back and keep the home, but just make it more suitable to whatever life they choose to live. And I also love this kitchen. Those counters, and I think pretty much all the appliances in the kitchen are from the Parenthood pack. I love the fact, besides that it's green, that it feels kind of homey. Like nothing feels super sterile or top of the line as far as appliances. Like it feels like an approachable kitchen, and I really like that idea, especially if one day we're going to have a family. So in my head, this kitchen belonged to Janae's parents or maybe her grandparents, and she inherited the house, so that's why she has such a large home at a young age. Because I'm not sure about other countries or other cultures, or just even just other people in general, but typically the way I grew up, young adults, they usually don't have such a large house. One, because they probably can't afford it, because they don't have a well-paying job yet, and also it's just a lot of space for one person. However, in my mind, if she inherited the home, it made more sense for her to have so much space to not be making a lot of money just quite yet. Janae just started in the scientist career. Last time I checked, she was only making 24 simoleons an hour, so that's not a whole lot to maintain such a large house, so she has to work hard. However, if she inherited, it makes sense that she will be able to at least have the house for now. So anyway, I love these green tiles in the kitchen. I think you would call them like subway tiles. They're gorgeous, and I love how they reflect. And I also like the flagstone tiles in the back of the fireplace. I use various packs in this build, but I would say the most prominent is definitely the Parenthood, with all of the kitchen appliances, cabinets, counters, and things like that. I also use the Cats and Dogs pack, if I'm not mistaken, for the kitchen chairs and that bay window. The large windows around the back, if I'm not mistaken, they are Spade. I think Spade are the ones with the kind of greenish tinge. Definitely laundry day. There is a laundry room in here that we will get to a bit later on. And just, you know, various other packs. I see curtains from City Living. I see that office desk in the corner from Get to Work. So yeah, it's really just a mismatch of a whole bunch of packs, and I love how everything comes together. I really love green because there's so many different variations of green. Of course, as with all other colors, there are various kind of hues and tints of them, but green, I don't know, I feel like I really love it. I really do. But yeah, I would say one of my favorite, I guess, architectural features of this house is how a lot of the windows are kind of inset, and there is like this fencing outside of them. It was something very, very similar in the episode of Grand Designs that I watched of how they did their windows. I guess the fencing wasn't completely covering the windows, but it did kind of provide like a shading almost, so I really enjoyed that. I would say the thing that I had the most challenging part with did that even make sense? What was the most challenging part was just kind of figuring the layout, so that's why I kept it very basic. This house, even though essentially it's a rectangle, there are parts that kind of protrude and concave within the basic rectangular shape. So yeah, that was kind of tricky, but I think I made it work, and I like how everything just flowed. This was actually one of the easier houses that I did, surprisingly, and I guess just a tip if anyone wants to work on their building or just become more comfortable with building in The Sims 4. For me personally, it helps to sketch out the design first, and it doesn't have to be like a masterpiece or anything, but just kind of roughly lay out how things are going to look and where you want to place your rooms, because it takes out a lot of the guesswork, if that makes sense, and that really works for me. What this house also features is a small workshop, which is off the side. If you notice, there's like a little staircase and a door on the side where Janae or whoever can work on things in private. Also, what I wasn't able to get on camera, unfortunately, was the basement, and the basement is basically going to be like the secret science lair. Not necessarily that Janae is doing anything evil or something that anyone should keep a special eye out for, but it's just a space for her to do experiments and, you know, just get really into her science side while she's at home and away from her job. So yeah, I hope you all enjoy this build. I had so much fun, and I love using green. This reminds me of when I did the solid color challenge and I chose the color green. I will link that somewhere on the screen or in the description bar below, but I really enjoyed that as well. And it was a smaller house kind of closer to the beach, also in Windenburg. So this house and that house has a couple of parallels. But anyway, we're going to be wrapping up here in about a minute or so. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And make sure to check out my Not So Berry challenge, which is new on this channel. I hope you all enjoy. I know I'm enjoying it so far, and I just look forward to giving you all more videos. So I'm gonna hop off here and let this finish, but thank you so much, and as always, I will talk to you in the next video. Bye guys.